Welcome back to another episode of the Energizer Pod. The Energizer Pod, a podcast that leaves you charged up. You're here with your two guests, Ty and Tay. And we've also got a special guest on. We got Tamia in the building, so introduce yourself.
I'm Tamia. I have my own podcast, TenTwentyTwo.
Plug that, TenTwentyTwo. Yeah.
2022 is gonna be like, yeah, boy. Everything's just aligned. Do you know what I mean?
So before we even get into it, before we chat about yourself, what is 1022 for those who don't know? Like, plug yourself, man.
It's just vibes, honestly. It's just a podcast. Me and my homies, that's what I like to say. Different guests as well, though, not just my friends, but people in the industry. If I want to talk about certain things, you're going to be educated on it too, because what do I know, really and truly? But yeah, man, it's just good vibes to share, to entertain people, to uplift people, and have important discussions as well. That's
sounding proper, man. Sounding a bit like, oh, still.
But yeah, no, I rock with that though, because you said it's you and your homies, and I feel like that's the best type of conversations when you're just speaking with your friend. And for you to record it and put it out there, it's just even better. Do you get me?
Literally, man.
I'll big you up.
Thank you.
Handle. So, tell me a bit more about yourself and what do you do other than 1022?
I work full time.
What's that like?
It's alright, you know. I don't mind it. I think because I like my company. I appreciate the way that they treat us. I like the way that it's easy to get promoted and move up. I feel like taken care of as an employee, and I feel appreciated there. So I don't find that it's like your regular 9 to 5. Do you know what I mean?
That's interesting, man. That's even leading into today's topic. So 9 to 5 versus entrepreneurship. So first off, Tay, what's your opinions on that, man?
Boy, we've had a conversation about this a lot of times, innit? Obviously,
literally, man.
I've got my own clothing line, Trendsetter, so I've been on the entrepreneurship path for a while now. Do you get me? Same time I'm working at the same time while I'm doing Trendsetter. Do you get me? So I'm a bit in the middle. Like, I feel like my life goal eventually is to stop working and just take the entrepreneurship side. Do you get me? But at the same time, I don't have no qualms about working. Do you get me? Sometimes I feel like you need to do what you need to do to get where you need to be. Do you get me? So I don't really have a problem with it, me personally.
Literally, I feel like I'd say mindset wise, I've always been entrepreneurial. However, my current situation is, like I mentioned in previous episodes, I have a career, I have my full-time job, my 9 to 5, and to be honest, just a second Tamia's point, I feel like it depends on what type of industry you go into. However, the one that I am in currently, my day job, I really do enjoy it. So I feel like certain people, when you get onto or when I mention to them, I work full-time, their ears already switched off because I've told them I work full-time, and I feel like there's certain connotations within Gen Z or our generation that people associate with working a 9 to 5. People think, he works a 9 to 5. He's in an office, bored. You know what I mean? Doing some painful job.
Where do you think that comes from, though? Like, where do you think that stems from?
To me, you take this one.
I think it stems from a lot of people just being unfulfilled in their 9 to 5s. That's a stereotype.
Unfulfilled. That's strong. Elaborate on
that. Like growing up, the people that were around me that worked 9 to 5s, people that I knew, like my connotations of a 9 to 5 came from people I knew not enjoying their 9 to 5. Like in movies.
Up in the morning.
Like in movies and shit, that's what we see. Like the people that work in 9 to 5 are miserable, but the people that have got their own jobs, like doing their own career, like being musicians,
they seem
fulfilled. They seem more fulfilled.
Let me tell you something. That's not the reality, though.
It's not.
It's not the reality. You see that when it comes to running your own business, I swear down, you may even go through more stress running your own business than working for a company. The reason I say that is because as a company, you've got certain structures in place, certain procedures in place, people you can speak to. When you're running your own business, it's just you. So if you mess up, it's only you.
It's on you, innit?
So there's more pressure.
Literally. And even to elaborate on Tay's point, so like previous to me working full time, previous to Energizer, as Tay will know, I had my own web design business. So I had my own web design agency where I was running it all myself, self-employed for about like, I'd say 8 to 14 months at the beginning of COVID to like, I'd say like a year after that, let's say. And you're right, like working for yourself, being self-employed or being an entrepreneur is very fulfilling, like you said, but I do feel like the adversities that can come with it is being very stressed, not having much free time, not having much peace of mind because you're always 24/7 trying to chase the next thing. Do you know what I mean? That next sort of high of whether it's Tay chasing the next sale or me chasing the next client from our web design business, it's like never ending. Do you know what I mean? At least with a 9 to 5, you clock in at 9, 5, you clock out. Do you know what I mean? When you're working for yourself, it's literally just 24/7. It's like it ends up being more than a 9 to 5. Do you know what I mean?
It's a 24/7 job. Someone asked me the other day, like, now Trendsetter's growing a bit more. They said, like, what hours do you work? I said, bro, like, it's not. There's no structure to it. Like, there's no. I get up at 9 o'clock. and I'm going to do this. As soon as I open my eyes, all right, cool, boom, this is what I need to do. And that can go throughout the whole day. Do you get me? There's no set structure. So, yeah.
That's proper interesting. So, building on that, back onto Tamia's point about like connotations and like when we've all grown up, we've seen our parents and our grandparents work. Like everyone in my family works a full-time job, but it just doesn't seem to be like it's something that aligns with their purpose. And I feel like that's where them type of connotations come from. What do you think?
I agree with that. And I think also, like, so when I was younger, my mum used to work a 9 to 5. Then when I was about maybe 11, she started her own business. So obviously I watched like the difference in it. And I think it is just because exactly what you just said, like her 9 to 5 wasn't aligned with her purpose at all. But it's like, as hard as being an entrepreneur is, if you're doing something that does align with your purpose, something that you really enjoy, it's worth it. Do you get what I mean? It's like all the hardships, I don't want to say they're easier to go through, but it just feels like
it's more
you're
worth
doing
it
to get somewhere in it. Whereas with a 9 to 5, you're going through stress for what? Like for someone else, which doesn't really feel great.
And I feel like one thing that even the audience will probably see from this type of discussion is that at the end of the day, when you work a 9 to 5, when it really comes down to it, you're just putting money into a next man or next woman's pocket, in it. At least with like the entrepreneurship side, you can use your own money that you're generating from your business to reinvest into yourself personally or into the business, etc., etc. But
that's what my problem is. Sorry to disrupt you, right? That's what my problem is, like with the working thing, because fair enough, you need to work to get a living, to make a living, do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
but
of course.
You're making them more of a living when you can be doing that for yourself, do you get me? Realistically, no one wants to be working for their whole life. Like, at some point you want to retire, and you don't want to retire at 60, 70, really. You want to retire younger so you can enjoy your life, literally, in my opinion, do you get me?
Literally. And even like building on that as well, like deep, like people go to school for what, 12, 13, 14 years roughly, then you work for about 60, let's say between 40 to 60 years realistically, to then retire and then live on like 20% of what you couldn't really afford to live on in the first place before you die. Do you know what I mean?
After that, you got like, what, 15 years to live your life. Do you get me? After that,
whole
do you get me?
is just crazy.
But I think that's like an old school mentality. I feel like people are starting to get out of that and realise that there's a different way of making it. Do you get me? A different way of being successful. Literally. It's not just through working.
Literally. I feel like, again, talking about like Gen Zs and people around our type of age group, like we're so entrepreneurial. Like you see, there's certain different things you can do other than a 9 to 5, like making money online, or you can have different online businesses, or whether it's crypto or NFTs that have come about now. So many other different avenues in which that could replace that 9 to 5. But in saying that, I do feel like there's certain skills that you learn through working a 9 to 5 that are just like lifelong skills. I feel like one thing I'm happy that I am working a 9 to 5 now is a sense of like transferable skills that I can then take into my next avenues in life. Do you know what I mean?
So what type of skills have you learned?
Interesting. I'd say learn how to be a people person. So like I like to work in industries that I can then, like I said, apply to my next stage in life, because you don't know what could happen tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? So like I had a short apprenticeship in sales. I didn't complete the apprenticeship, if I'm being honest, but like whilst I was working in my sales role, I was learning how to sell to people, because like that's what the world's really based on: buying and selling, supply and demand. Do you know what I mean? Even if I had a product or whatever it could be and I want to sell, you need to know how to sell. Do you know what I mean? So like talking to people, building my communication skills, improving on my organization and planning is something that I've definitely been able to improve from working a 9 to 5. And there's quite a few others that I can't really think off the top of my head right now. But yeah, what about you? To me, obviously you work a 9 to 5 as well. So like, can you agree? Can you add on to that?
Definitely people skills. Definitely like confidence things as well.
Literally.
And, like, my first few jobs were like customer service in it.
Yeah, I feel like we've all done that part-time customer service.
Because I was so shy. I used to be so shy. Like I would literally
me.
See today I wouldn't be talking still.
Yeah,
I'd still be like trying to get comfortable.
Yeah.
But like just talking to strangers in it, and like I think deep down I'm a people person, but it just took a lot to bring it out of me.
To bring that side of it,
Yeah. And also just like communication, because like one of my jobs, the people I worked with didn't speak English very well in it. So it's like I had to make sure to be on top of my communication game, like make sure that I communicate hours before people can figure things out. If there's like a miscommunication, we can sort it out.
Yeah.
Just little things like that I've never thought about until now. But yeah, like those are things that I picked up.
Yeah, that's proper interesting, man.
Go on, bro.
I also feel like building on that even more, and like delving deeper into this type of topic, I feel like there's a difference between a job and a career.
Oh, right. That's
Do you know
what
I mean?
Speak about.
Yeah, you take that one.
That's what I speak about. Because see me, I've never really had a career. I've had jobs. Do you get me? You two are in careers. So it's you two versus me right now. Do you get me? But I haven't had a career, and I know that the jobs that I've had, like I've worked part-time in different shops and that, or different stores. I haven't liked it. Do you get me? But I reckon a career is something I'm interested in, maybe something for me. Do you get me? But as for a career, as for a job, that's just not being my bag, because I'm there with other people. There's not really no goals for me within this job, because it's not something that I want to do. Do you get me?
Literally, yeah. And I feel like when you're working a job, your lower self, so your physical body is working the job, clocking in, clocking out, but your mind's elsewhere. Your mind is thinking, I've only got to bang this 8-hour shift so that I can save more money to get to X, which is where I really want to be. Do you know what I mean?
As soon as I'm getting in, I'm thinking about getting
out, literally. So like, literally, when people work a job, so let's break it down, a job versus a career. We're looking at jobs right now. Yeah, people utilize jobs as a tool to fund and fuel what they really want to do, which is their passion. So like, you might use, so like last year, for example, when I was working self-employed, or before that, when I started my web design business, I had a part-time job. I was working in like a vaccine center with one of my friends. That was used, I hated that job, but that job there was used to fuel my passion, which is my web design. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, man.
So what about you? So how did you get into your career? Let me ask you first.
I'm not in a career. I don't know why you said that.
Oh, you're not in a career?
No, I'm not in my career.
Okay.
At all.
So what do you do, if you don't mind saying?
I work at a juice bar.
Okay.
But when you're saying that because I said it's easy to get promoted, isn't it?
I think so. I don't know why I don't know why I thought you had it.
Because like right now I'm training to be bar manager. So I'm training to be manager of my store. But
big up, you get me?
But the thing is, like even when I started training for this, they were like, do you want to be like, there's bar manager, there's shift manager, because I became like what we call it, a JQ, and I came a JQ like a month ago. And since then, everyone's just on me to be like an SM or a BM because they think I can do it. But realistically, in my head, I'm like, I'm not trying to stay here for like time, innit? Like I wasn't planning to be in this job for more than a year. But it's like, if the opportunity is there, I'm gonna take it, innit? Because I feel like I would be good at the job. I feel like I could learn a lot from the job as well, and it's experience at the end of the day.
That's what I feel like keeps you going on. Because you see, when I was working, I had no goals within that job. You said you want to be like a manager. That's
important as well.
You get me? I had no goals. I'm just going there to get money and go home. Do you get me? So I feel like it's important to have a goal within your career. What job would you get me?
Literally. So 2 points to build on that. I feel like it is very important to have work-related goals, you know what I mean? So you're not just clocking in, working, clocking out. Like, if you're not working towards something, life is binary, it's full of ones and zeros. If you're not pushing forward, you're really just going backwards in a sense, you know what I mean? So it's good to know what your next goal is, because if you don't know where your end goal is, what are you really doing right now? So yeah, I forgot my second point, but I'll touch it in a minute.
What was you talking about?
Career, jobs. And I was going to say a second point. Actually, no, that's one as well that I was going to say, yeah. I feel like when people do work that 9 to 5, people have that misconception that just because you work a 9 to 5, your life has to revolve around that 9 to 5. Like, it's 2022, you know what I mean? You can work in your juice bar and you got your podcast, same way I work my 9 to 5 and I got the podcast, you know what I mean? And you can still invest, you can still get into property, you can still have all these other external things around your job, do you know what I mean? So what do you think? What do you guys think?
That's what I'm doing right now. Like, I'm doing a part-time job right now.
Yeah.
But the majority of the money I'm making, I'm putting it into Transferable. Do you get me? So I'm living proof that you can do that. You can work, but at the same time, fund your business. Do you get me? That's what a lot of people are doing, to be honest with you.
Literally.
Do you get me?
So let's take it in a different angle then. So you mentioned, Tay, what was I going to say? You mentioned, Tay, that me and you spoke previously about you not wanting to probably work 9 to 5 because you have an issue with authority. Or let's not say an issue, you just don't like being told what to do. I feel like being realistic though, Tay's not the only one. No one really and truly likes being told when.
No, some people do though. Some people,
do you think?
Like, there's some people that are just lost in it. They don't know what to do if they're not being told.
That's true still.
So
that's a very good point.
Not they like it, but they kind of need it. Do you know what I mean?
And it probably gives them a sense of security, knowing that even if they're like confused or they don't know where the next move is, someone else can tell them what their next move will be. But I feel like, why don't you build on that? Like, why don't you really like being told what to do?
That authority issue, that's not just working. Like, my mum said it to me for a long time. I've got like an issue with authority. Obviously I'm respectful, of course, but there's something that just about it that I don't like within working. Someone could tell me when I can go to the toilet. Someone could tell me when I can go on a lunch break. Do you get what I mean? Like, I'm making money for you, but you can still tell me when I have to go to the toilet. That's what my issue is.
I feel like, I don't know, again, that's like, maybe with that mindset, it's because you thought that, if I get a 9 to 5, these are the things that are guaranteed to happen. But like, for example, my 9 to 5, like, I must say, touch wood, I'm very grateful because I'm in a type of industry where it's very free. So I work in media, like advertising. So like, yes, I still have certain targets and certain things that I need to do and action by the end of the day, but it's still free. I'm still an individual who works there, not like I don't just work there. Does that make sense? So like I'm still able to take a 10-15 minute break when I want. I'm still able to go and to the toilet or go out to take an early lunch, for example, when I want, as long as the work gets done. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like people think, let me not get a job because, like you said, these people are going to be telling me when I can piss and when I can do A, B, and C. Do you know what I mean? But it just depends on the type of industry you get into.
I agree with you still. Like, I feel like freedom's an important thing when you're working. Do you get me? You don't want to feel like you're trapped in. I feel like every job that I have had, it's like, I've got to do what these people say, or else I'm getting fired. Do you get me? And I don't like that. And I feel like, it sounds mad. You don't let me know what you think here, but I feel like potentially having a business is more safe than having a job. Elaborate. Because someone's in control of your money. Someone can have a bad day, come into work and say, listen, you're fired. Then after that, you're done. Do you get me? Whereas with your business, it's only you. It's only you. You can make it happen. You get me?
I think it depends on what your business is, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
Because as much as you are in control of your business, you're not. For example, like if you're selling a product, if people are not buying your products, that's out of your control. Well, it's kind of out of you. We can argue that's out of your control, innit? Yeah. The thing is with like working under someone, I hear what you're saying, but then there's things like there's contracts and stuff in it. Well. There's contracts and stuff in it. You can't just get fired for no reason. Do you get it? Just because someone's having a bad day. So I feel like we have to discuss both a bit more to say.
Okay, so when you said like you're not in control of your business, I feel like you are. Do you get me? Obviously, like it's gonna take time for your business to grow. If you're not getting sales, the only way you're gonna get sales is through you. Do you get what I mean? So you're the only person that can control it. Do you get what I mean?
In a way. But at the same time, the business environment is very tricky sometimes.
But you gotta figure it out though. Business is it's difficult. I haven't figured it out myself. Do you get me? So I'm not saying that I'm a pro or nothing like that. But I'm saying the only way you're gonna make it work is if you make it work. Do you get what I mean? You get me?
I agree to a certain extent, because I feel like at the end of the day, everything just comes down to mindset. Do you know what I mean? So it's a thing where it's like you are capable of your business failing just as much as you are of your business succeeding in it. It's all down to the individual. Do you know what I mean? So I agree with your point, because it's like when it comes to businesses and stuff like that, it's almost like, I lost my train of thought. But you know what I'm trying to say, innit? Like at the end of the day, when it comes to business, it's your job it's your job for you to make it just as much as it is for your job to fail, if that makes sense. Like it's all down to you at the end of the day.
I think just both have like levels of, is it insecurity? It's not security, but like, do you get what I'm trying to say? Yeah. Like that. Like both have its pros and cons, I guess. Yeah. And both can be just as unsecure as the other.
I agree. So let me just drop something on you guys now, Would you rather have your own, currently right now, would you rather have your own business that's making the same amount of money that you are working, or would you rather be working?
God, to be honest.
Like I want to know that to see if like you actually like what you're doing, or is it you're doing it because the money's good? Do you get what I mean? If you could have your own business right now and you're making the same money,
boy, do
you get me? What are you doing right now?
I don't even.
I don't know. I'd have my own business.
That's a tough. Have your own business.
Yeah.
I feel like wait. Why?
Because I kind of have a problem with authority too, and even though, like, okay, even now at work, there are certain things I want to change. Like, I just don't like the way that it's done. Does that make sense?
But you don't have the power to do that yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's like, I can't change it. I don't have the power to change it. And it's like, because that's just the way we do things across the country, across the world, and all our stores, innit? So like, there's nothing I can really do about that. But there's just certain things that as much as I love my job, there's certain things I don't like. And I'm just like, I don't want to put up with it or have to deal with it really. But also, I'd just rather work by myself.
That's fair enough.
There's some days I just don't feel like going to work and talking to people. And I just don't feel like, I just want to be in control. Does that make sense?
And I second that as well. That's why I was kind of like and ahhing to my response, but I would definitely second that as well. Like, don't get twisted. I would rather stay in my job that I'm in now, because I'm in a greater position to learn. I feel like when you're at the top of the food chain, so say if you own your own business, what more can you really learn unless you're not the one teaching yourself? Does that make sense? But why do you disagree?
Because I feel like if you're a boss and you're leading a company, you need to employ people that know things that you don't. Otherwise, you're still going to you'll do everything yourself. You need to employ people that can do things that you can't do. So
That's
you
true.
can learn from them. Do you get me?
That's
as
true.
long as you're willing to learn, there's always chances to learn.
Yeah, that's true as well. But I was coming from a perspective where it's like, where I'm in my job now, I almost see myself as an apprentice. Just like I said to you previously, I see myself as an apprentice to life. Do you know what I mean? So like, where I've got people who are more I'm in the same field as these people who are more experienced than me. They're able to drop off to me certain gems and that I don't know, so I can learn. However, on the contrary, I feel like if anyone is able to have the same salary that they're on now, but be their own boss rather than have a boss, I feel like most people would lean towards that side just because of the sense of control. Like I can decide to, like, not tomorrow Sunday, but say if I wake up on a Monday, I like. Say if I wake up on a Monday,
But deep it though, no one would even know that it would be a Sunday. No one would know it's a Sunday.
Oh yeah.
You get me? But
Boy,
right now,
long. But you know what I'm trying to say is,
Yeah.
on a weekday, I could wake up and decide I don't want to have to work that day because I'm in control. Whereas like me, I can't do that. I start work at 9, so 8, I'm up. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So that's why I would say that.
I feel like my main thing is this, I want to be in control of my life. Do you get me? I want to be in control of my life.
I agree.
Do you get me? And having my life in someone else's hands, it's a bit shaky for me because anyone could do anything. Because I said, people have emotions. People have emotions.
So you do feel like you're not as secure if you was working a full-time job compared to having a business. So like, based on what you said, like you're in control, yeah? So does that mean to say that if you was in a 9 to 5 now, you would just feel less safe than you are now? Because it's a sense of security.
No, it depends what type of job. Obviously, I'm working right now as well, and I'm doing both. So I'm in the middle. I'm doing what you guys are doing. Do you get me? But I'm trying to get away from that. Yeah. It depends what type of job you're doing, innit? Like, that's what I feel like a problem is working. There's too much security. So you might get comfortable in your job. You might be there for 30 years.
I disagree.
You disagree?
Yeah.
I feel like that's a problem. Like, you know that next week or next month you're getting paid, so you're gonna stay there. Eventually, you're getting used to this money coming in, and it's hard to break away from it.
Like, even if you're unfulfilled in your job, but you're doing exactly what you said, like you're just comfortable because you know you're gonna get paid next month. People will stay in that, just like exactly for what you just said. I'm basically just repeating what you said, but for security, innit? And then I don't know what my point was, but it's like for security, innit? And then it's just like, it's almost like they think. Some people think work is not meant to be enjoyable, innit? Like, so even if they're not fulfilled and they're not enjoying their job, they'll just continue with it anyway because they're like, this is what everyone else is doing.
Yeah, that's true. And it's like society says it's acceptable, innit, to just be in your job and be there for time. But again, like, you know me, I'm always going to be dropping the spiritual gems in it. I feel like it all comes down to mindset at the end of the day, so that's why I disagree, because just because, like me, for example, based off of your point, that would mean to say that because I have a 9 to 5 job, I'm going to be comfortable, but I'm not.
It depends on the person.
That's what I'm saying, innit? So that's why I disagree.
Do you get me? But I feel like it's very easy to get comfortable.
But then let's flip that on its head, If I had my own business, isn't it the same? Isn't it just as easy for me to get comfortable because I'm getting in a check? I just know and say to myself, as long as I sell the X amount of products, I'm calm. That's comfortable, being comfortable right there. Just like in a job, as long as I do these things, I'm calm because I know the checks come at the end of the month. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I disagree.
Go on.
I disagree. I disagree, because if you stay the same way in business, like let's say you don't evolve and you just stay the same in business, your business isn't going to move. And if your business isn't moving, it's gonna fail. Do you get me?
Okay, that's true.
You can go into work and do the same thing every single day. Do you get me? Yeah. You're still gonna get paid the same amount. If you have your business, you do the same thing every single day. Eventually, your thing's gonna pop down. So I disagree with you there, bro.
Will it though?
Yeah, bro.
But then again,
because you remember, like when you have your own business, like the business environment is very dynamic, innit? And if everyone else is always doing stuff,
it's very volatile.
Yeah, and if everyone else your competitors are doing stuff that you're not doing, you're just selling the same so you can live.
That's a good point.
You're gonna fall back.
I agree there.
So
I can't lie. That's a good point.